Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Brain Scratch Commentaries, commentary of Super Mario Galaxy for the Nintendo Wii.
Whatever happened to just press start?
The Wii remote happened to it.
Bob Ross. Oh.
No.
Oh.
Start was too plebeian. They decided buttons have to have numbers on them.
Whatever happened to games not having, like, please don't hurt yourself while playing a video game on startup of, like, every game ever?
If you or a loved one have epilepsy or seizures, please don't play video games.
One of these days, I want a game to just tell me before it starts, if you have epilepsy, you probably shouldn't be looking at this right now.
Pretty much.
We got Ryan, we got Ted, Lewis.
What?
I'm here. Who's the fifth voice? Introduce yourself.
Oh. Hey everybody, it's Chuggaaconroy. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this, even though we're recording this again.
I really appreciate you having it.
For the second time.
Do you really appreciate me having me? What?
I want you.
I appreciate me having myself.
Well, I hope you appreciate
for
having yourself, because if
breakfast.
you don't like yourself, well, that leads to bad things.
And ladies and gentlemen, if we are actually coming in differently this time around, we are using, all of us are using separate audio recording programs like Audacity and GarageBand because we're tired of Skype fucking up on us.
The thing that I said about us recording again and what Johnny just said are linked. It's like a interconnected neural network of recording problems.
Yeah. So from parts 1 through 12, we're going to be using our recording software, and then from parts 13 onward, we're going back to the Skype call recorder because we actually had to travel back in time. No, I mean, we actually had to travel back to part 1 to redo them because of
Because Skype conversations is travels.
Welcome to Galaxy, folks. Personally, one of my favorite 3D Mario games of all time.
It's brilliant, it really is, and I liked how in the original recording how we were talking about how, it was really cool when they brought back Bowser airships this game though, but we really wish that Bowser would just do something a little different now because like every game it's been airships since then.
It's like Bowser himself.
This is when they realized, hey, that Mario 3 thing sure made a lot of money back then. Let's see if we can try that once more.
No, they realized all their fanboys were nothing but nostalgia whores for Mario 3, so it's like, okay, we'll just make that again.
Well, they had the airships in this one, and they had a couple of songs brought back, but I felt like it was more like 3D Land was like where they really
It was. I think it was more Mario Wii, because that's when they brought back the Koopa kids, Koopalings, whatever you want to call them. The Bowser's not children.
Bowser's not children. I like how Miyamoto says that we actually don't know what their relation is. I think he's just trying to like dodge questions, really.
Well, no, he was just saying something because people kept pestering him about their relationship to Bowser Jr. and stuff. So
Miyamoto, of course, we all know how he feels about story. He's probably secretly thinking, why do you all care?
Well, to be fair, this game actually does have a really good story. I mean, we didn't really pay much attention to the intro. I mean, we were just kind of talking about other things, though. But I like the story that they had going here, and that's one of the few things that I don't like as much about Galaxy 2, is that I thought it was kind of nice how they had, like, a little story here, and it wasn't intrusive. You didn't have to, like, read it, though, but it was there if you wanted to experience it, and it gave you backstory as to what was actually going on.
Yeah, nothing exactly railroaded you into going into the library.
And I like all your long jumps into the wall right there.
Anything to get the game over with fast. See, I'm still sort of in my N-Tom 64 race high. Because I actually started recording this, and I think oh wow, hold on a second. Well, you guys talk while I think about how long it's been since I actually recorded this.
Well, how about that Zelda 2 Let's Play, John?
Oh boy, I can't wait.
You've only played that game 5 times in the past 2 months.
Uh,
I started recording this in late March. At the time of this recording.
Is it bad that I can't beat like Zelda 1 or Zelda 2?
I can understand. No, I can't beat Zelda 2.
I can beat Zelda 1, so if I can do it, you can.
I beat Zelda 2 5 times.
I've come close to beating Zelda 1 a few times. Like I've gotten, I think I've done like 6 of the dungeons, but like I can never quite finish it.
You don't need to. I beat Zelda 1, that was purely for a bet, though. If I didn't have that bet, I would never have beaten that game.
A moot bet. Anyway, I was gonna do Mother Pokemon anyway.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zelda 2 is the hardest in the series, so don't feel bad for not being able to beat that. I haven't beaten it.
What's kind of funny is that I'm not gonna say that Skyward Sword was not challenging though, but I like how every time a new Zelda game comes out, they're always saying this is the hardest Zelda game, or like whenever a new Mario game comes out, they always say this is the hardest.
No,
Mario
people
game.
have been saying that Mario games have been too easy recently, because, like, this game isn't that hard. Galaxy 2's a little bit harder, but 3D Land was really easy. None of the new games are all that challenging.
I remember Miyamoto saying that Mario Bros. Wii was going to be the hardest Mario game, and I also remember them saying Wind Waker was going to be the hardest Zelda, the Twilight Princess was going to be the hardest Zelda, and then they also said Skyward Sword was going to be the hardest Zelda, which Skyward Sword's probably the hardest 3D Zelda, but I don't think it tops Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 in terms of just ridiculous difficulty.
Well, making a game ridiculously difficult was common in the NES days, because that's how they made the games last more than the 3 hours that it takes.
They had to make them last because they wanted to sell them for $50, but they really couldn't put that much content into them, so they had to make them tough.
37 kilobytes of power.
You can beat Mega Man 2 in an hour, but the first time you do it, and if you pick Heatman stage first by mistake, you're going to be spending like 20 on that game. So
yeah.
So really, the fact that they don't make games as obnoxiously difficult as back then doesn't bother me, as long as they're just as satisfying to play. Which
Yeah, because like I like legitimate challenge a lot more than stuff like that.
Fucking Castlevania.
I like games where I can, with minimal interruption, flow through and almost constantly be, given new content, rather than playing the same content over and over in a vain attempt to beat it.
Except for Ghouls and Ghosts. That game just has to be stupidly difficult, because I like it that way.
Maximo 2, go die in a fire.
So Bowser kidnapped Peach, and then Mario's in space.
Oh, Bowser kidnapped Peach. What else is new?
Yeah, but Mario's in space this time.
Mario's not just in space; he's in space chasing after space bunnies.
Yeah, and are we gonna see Jason X?
Oh, God forbid. Is that a sleeping bag I see?
Didn't one of you guys say that you actually really like that movie and not because it's good?
I like the movie just because it's so stupid.
Yeah, Jason X crosses the line of absurdity to the point where it's hilarious.
X crosses the line!
Oh, Christ. It wasn't intentional, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
Maybe it was on their part.
It's a Freudian slip.
Freaking hate these bunnies, man.
This is actually the hardest part of the game.
Hot Run Flames bunnies!
It's the hardest part of the game if you're trying to speedrun it.
Of course, as is obvious, it's more of a movement tutorial, so you can get used to the spherical plane.
It's a Mario game. Everyone knows how to move Mario.
Well, I'm talking about the gravity, the circular, the spherical planetoids, because control, especially without actual camera control, because the Wii remote fails at buttons and analog sticks. It can get kind of irksome at times moving around, especially on smaller planetoids. So.
Well, this is pretty much the biggest round planet in the entire game, if I remember, or at least one of the biggest ones. So it's usually not that big of an issue with camera stuff.
The other thing is, when the camera is positioned so that Mario is sideways or upside down, jumping is a thing as well, because jumping when your character is upside down can be disorienting as fuck.
I'll give you that the camera's not like. I'll give you that the camera's not quite as great as, say, like Super Mario Sunshine, where you have a C stick because you're going back to a D-pad. But like in this game though, I noticed that there's not many times where I need to like move the camera. Like there's one part in Honey Hive Galaxy where I feel like I need to move the camera, and there's a couple other areas, but in this game I don't really feel it that necessary to move the camera because they did a really good job programming it so that it's always in the right spot.
I think it's also a bit more zoomed out than Mario 64 and
like
Sunshine.
you can see a lot more at one time, and it just that even though I do agree with you that the camera control's not as good as, say, Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
It's not bad either though, because they did a really good job making up for it by making the auto camera just actually really good for once.
Yeah, the game was designed around the without a free roaming camera in mind, and for the most part it does that job really well.
The areas are generally, not all the time, but generally less wide open and a little more confined than in previous 3D Mario games, which works well with the camera, and you don't really need to constantly swivel around and look for things. So that, and well, when you're on a spherical planet like this, you can usually see a fair bit of what the other side of it looks like on the tape screen.
Sonic Lost World. Oh, what was that? Sorry.
Ted, you gotta get that checked out.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Any of you have a lozenge? Send it through my Ethernet port.
It'll come out of his disk drive.
Well, we do have a spare Jeff Goldblum if that'll help.
Thank you, Chaos Theory. Still can't Jeff Goldblum.
I was actually not really following Galaxy that much when it was being shown off in E3 all that well, and I actually bought it on complete impulse on the weekend it came out. Well, the weekend after it came out, I should say, because Nintendo games usually come out on Sundays. That's right.
Yeah, they do that so that little kids won't skip school.
It ranges anywhere from Sunday, Saturday, and like Tuesday.
When I
for
first
some
started
reason.
playing this game, I actually got a little nervous at first because the whole gravity gimmick and stuff like that reminded me a lot of Mad Space and Meteor Herd.
Oh well, Mad Space was also running on 2000 Dreamcast logic. This is the next generation.
Meteor Herd's issue wasn't really gravity so much as just
Just
how
too big.
gigantic and spread out it is. Mad Space, though, yeah.
Ugh, Mad Space.
Yeah, definitely. Though.
Mad Space is just a proto-galaxy.
Dreamcast Galaxy.
It's a proto-Sonic Lost World.
No, Sonic Extreme is a proto-Lost World. And don't say it isn't, Sega.
There's this fucking massive fucking Goomba here.
Fucking
You never
massive
see
fucking?
It's a huge, massive Goomba, giant Goomba. You never see it again, and it's a complete pushover. What was the
No,
point?
they bring it back for I think they use that same model for the giant level.
Supermassive
in 2.
Galaxy in 2, yeah, but it's just in this
Yeah.
game. It's just it's like they decided to throw a big-lipped alligator moment at the very start of the game, and you're wondering if you're ever gonna see the giant Goomba again. But no, it never happens.
It's just Lord Goomba and his Goomba troops.
Going back to playing the game for the first time, though, this was another game that I just sort of assumed that I'd get because, Mario. It's like a mandatory purchase. So I got it as a Christmas gift. That and Guitar Hero 3 were my two gifts that year. So everybody hogged the TV with Guitar Hero for all day. So like late at night, I finally decided to put in Galaxy, and I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this, because for what I just thought was going to be just another Mario game, ended up being my favorite platformer out of the entire series, which is odd because I didn't expect it to be this amazing. So that it's always nice to be surprised.
Broke a lot of new ground, and it's kind of funny that when you think of a game that would have like really impressive visuals for the time at least, and would have like a really awesome orchestra soundtrack, you don't like immediately think Mario, but it just works so well.
I will say though, the way I'm recording this, I'm actually using my Wii U in conjunction with the Hopog, and I gotta say, like, if the game is graphically impressive, even on the Wii, then it looks actually pretty damn good when it's upscaled to 720. And Mario Galaxy and Brawl are actually those exceptions where it just looks fabulous on a big screen TV.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we got a grand star, which still only counts as one.
It's better than the final star you get in Mario 64, where you get this gigantic star and it counts as 0.
Well, was that a grand star?
It wasn't a grand star, but it was still a gigantic star, and it was the thing that Bowser was using.
No,
for
it was
power.
no. You gotta remember, it was overglorified wing cap power up because Mario gets wings the moment he touches the damn thing.
You scratch off the yellow paint, and it's made out of copper.
So if it's a wing cap, Bowser's the proverbial exclamation mark block.
There actually are. There actually are copper power stars in Galaxy 2.
Oh, copper stars are worse than no star at all.
If you use the super guide thing, you'll get a copper star at the end of the level instead of the gold one.
I beat Mario 2 Lost Levels as a kid. I don't need no stinking super guide.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna give you this guide to how to play the game, but if you use it, you don't get the star. You get a copper star, so we can shame you.
Well, it's that it lets you select the next mission, but it doesn't count towards your star counter, so it's like a medal of shame.
Well, the worst part about it is even if you decide to man through it and not use Shadow Rosalina or whatever you want to call her, she's still there if you go back to replay that mission. So it's just like she's always there shaming you, even though you did go through it. Like that fucking pig in Donkey Kong Country Returns. I hate that asshole.
Yeah, in Donkey Kong Country Returns, it's like 3 deaths, and that's it. You instantly have to, instantly the super guide will activate it. Just, give me more than 3 tries.
Fucking
Some of these
hate that
levels are actually
pig.
kinda
He's
hard.
such a dick. I don't want your help, pig. Go away.
Like, some of those later minecart levels are actually kind of hard. It's just, I don't think it's unfair to... I don't think it's fair to, expect me to die, not 3 times before shaming me for it.
Part's over. Goodbye, everyone.